He's absolutely right.
Okay, anything else, Frank, before we let you go?
What we should do is criminalize them and take them to court and take their assets away from them and put them in jail. And those that committed treason, we can either hang them or guillotine them.
That's exactly what we need to do.
Okay, thanks so much there. And again, our number is 1-888-24-LIBERTY, 1-888-24-LIBERTY, or 464-8295. But these people really are subversive. They're part of a cabal. It's called the Trilateral Commission, locks into the CFR and the Bilderbergers. And there's only 87 members of the Trilateral Commission, the Northern American chapter, and yet they control Goldman Sachs and J.P. Morgan Chase and Citigroup and all these banks we've been bailing out, but then they have their people totally controlling the Obama administration and every aspect of our government today. Well, certainly we've got Mary on the line, and Mary's from Sacramento. Hi, Mary. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you, Dr. Stan. Listen, I wanted to thank both of you. I read via Bob Chapman, suggestion. I got your video on the darkness video in your book and looked at the video twice, and I'm so glad I did. It was really worthwhile, and I've read the book through and through. And then, Bob, you emailed on a stock the other day, and I was wondering, I bought it. I had a little bit of money left in my Schwab account available, but when I tried to buy it online, it was shut down, and Schwab had to do it for me. It was about 15 minutes before they closed. And I was wondering why they were able to do it and buy. And then also I bought some additional stocks, 3 that you had recommended March the 10th. And I got my end of April statement, and I made almost 11% on those stocks. And I don't have very much money. I got to tell you, you're making all the difference in the world for me.
Well,
so I really appreciate it.
Please don't look from day to day and week to week and month to month. Just hope we're right overall. We have the trend and it continues. I got to tell you a deep, dark secret about these discount houses, and I was a broker for 28 years. What they're doing is they'll take your order and they'll play the market with it. And they'll act as principal, and they take a commission that you never see before they take a very small commission that you do see on your statement. And so dealing with discount houses is not the panacea people think it is.
Okay, well then that might be, I don't know if this is part of that, but the price.
That's how they were able to execute.
Yeah, and the price.
They made a market for you in the stock, and they gave it to you at what they thought was a fair price and took a profit, and then charged a small commission as an agency trade on the way out.
Oh, it never changes, does it?
No, but doesn't it?
No, it doesn't.
We win, you lose. Anything else, Mary?
No, I think you had mentioned, Bob, that at some point is my memory right or wrong? At some point you'll let us know when to get out of the stock market part of it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
If we're still here, Mary, we'll be bringing Bob as long as we're here. God bless. Let's go.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Let's go to Rod calling from Santa Cruz. Our telephone number again, 1-888-24-LIBERTY, 1-888-24-LIBERTY, or 464-8295. And hi, Rod. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys?
No complaints. You have a question for our guest?
Yeah, I do. I want to know if Bob or you could comment on the role of SDRs in this transfer of wealth financing that's going on.
The SDRs, the special drawing rights issued by the IMF, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Again, our number 1-888-24-LIBERTY, 1-888-24-LIBERTY, or 464-8295. Bob, where do the SDRs fit into this, the so-called paper gold?
First of all, they have nothing to do with gold, and they are paper, and they have no backing. They're another fiat currency. They tried them in 1968 and 69, and they were a disaster. They tried them again 10 years later when they tried to manipulate the gold market unsuccessfully. Didn't work. And now they're bringing them around again for another try. And so it's just lose-lose. It's It's just another paper kiting scheme.
And it's all about trust. You've got to trust them, you know. Are you going to believe them? Or are you going to believe your lying eyes? And of course, eventually, we're going to have to believe your lying eyes, and they're going to just rape most of the people in the world and impoverish them. Anything else you want to say, Rod? A question?
Well, just maybe a little further comment on since they are using that and it's rearing its ugly head again. What indicators does that show us where we're at in the process? And I'll take the answer on the air. Thanks.
Well, I think that they think that they're getting close to their world currency, and nothing could be further from the truth. They're in serious trouble. This Greece thing just knocked everything, and they've been under tremendous pressure for the last 5 years because of programs like Stans and because of what's on the Internet. And they don't know which way to run. And that's why they had the Trilateral Commission meeting very close to the Bilderberger meeting, because this is really serious this time. And they get more trouble than they can handle. And, of course, they think they're the masters of the universe and they're going to get away with it. But this time they're not.
Well, I certainly hope that they're in for a surprise. Hey, let's go to Jim calling from Texas. Again, our number 1-888-24-LIBERTY, 1-888-24-LIBERTY, or 464-8295. And hi, Jim. You have a question for our guest?
Hi, Dr. Stan. Yeah, Bob, I have a hypothesis that, you know, as we awaken to this Ponzi scheme of exploitation and manipulation, which is really all the fractional banking systems are. It looks to me like there's going to be two ways out for these so-called lead bankers. It's going to be revolution or world war, and after studying World War I have no doubt that that's what they're going to do. Do you have any insight into how long we may have before this happens, and will it be more than likely caused by a collapse of the currencies, or do you think the collapse of the currencies will come out of the war and then maybe they'll use that for a mechanism to set up this 10-kingdom economic bloc that the Bible talks about and that you can see we're rapidly heading toward? I'd like to hear your comments on that. Thank you.
Well, the latter. And I think the economy will, and when it is, just about on its back, the next thing that will happen is that they'll have their war. Or maybe the war will start and they'll blame the collapse of the war itself. I mean, who knows? But they're not going to get away with it. Too many people know. I mean, Stan and I have been doing this for 50 years. Now we have thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of people all over the world who know what these people are doing. And they're not going to take it anymore. Look at Greece. And so this is the way this whole thing is headed. How long will it take? Probably a year or two, and that's it.
Okay, let's go to Jimmy, who's calling us from Florida. Hi, Jimmy. I got a question or comment?
Yeah, Dr. Stan, I had a couple questions for Bob.
Okay, you go for it. Just ask one at a time. We'll get to them both.
Okay, my first question was, is there any way that J.P. Morgan can be stopped from manipulating the price of silver? And if they are stopped, what would happen to the price of silver?
All right, good question. Because there's some question that the SEC is going to investigate J.P. Morgan on silver. What are your thoughts, Bob?
Well, the Justice Department has an investigation, a criminal investigation on that issue with J.P. Morgan Chase right now. And I don't expect it to go any further. But there is ample evidence and testimony.
Hold that thought. We'll be right back in just a moment. Well, this is Dr. Stan. Vince, we're out of time, but could you ask your question quickly because I've got to let Bob go.
Yeah, I was wondering how Bush wanting to privatize Social Security would have fit into a New World Order plan, or was that just a ruse?
No, I think they wanted to do that, and he was given his orders on it, but it didn't happen, and maybe it will in the future. I don't know.
Okay, fine, Vince. We'll just have to wait and see. But certainly George Bush was simply an extension of Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney brought the orders down from the elitists and told George Bush exactly what to do. God bless. Thanks so much. And, Bob, we're out of time. Thank you so very much for being with us. We'll look forward to talking to you tonight.
Okay, bye-bye.
God bless. Bye-bye.